Here come Oldham, and Tony Barrow, after just 3 weeks in charge, is still assessing their strengths.
Very.
The Halifax side, and under Ross Strudwick they're just beginning to put their game together.
Duncan Platt and the Platt brother.
No. Only AA. Dr. Grabowski, whatever they called him. And the mascot, for whom this must be a terrific day, is little Stephen Queen, and his mum and dad are here, very proud parents too. Yeah, that's right. And he was a queen as well. Well, it's been raining heavily in Halifax all morning, and so we can expect the pitch to cut up considerably during the 80 minutes. And it's Oldham's new signing who'll kick off, Duncan Platt. Halifax in white and blue rather than their usual blue and white hoops. And their captain, Paul Dixon, makes the first little foray. And I would imagine, David, this is the sort of day where kicking is going to be important, good kicking.
Well, I think it will, because we've just seen a handling incident there with people dropping the ball. It is muddy and slippery under feet, and it'll be interesting to see how both sides tactically approach this game, whether they'll move it when it's dry or whether or not they'll kick as the mud takes a grip of the game.
So Oldham well inside the Halifax half to start with, and a chance of a break here for Paul Round. Is a big, strong, strapping forward. Juggled with it a little bit, you can expect that. He's a prolific try scorer, Paul Round. Mike Ford changed direction very cleverly when he had to do there. And that's a good ball, and it's Platt immediately sprinting towards the Halifax line. So that's an encouraging start for the signing from Widnes. It's an encouraging start too for Oldham. O'Sullivan now, he's only about 3 or 4 yards out, but it's on the last tackle. Well, the better part of Oldham's game all season has been their attacking, and here's a terrific chance for Paul Round to score a try in the very first minute of the game. Well, isn't he exuberant? Well, we mentioned there just what a prolific try scorer Paul Round is, and he was certainly the man on the job then.
Well, what a marvellous start this is to the game for Oldham. They've come here today obviously looking for points, and Round goes over for the first try after an astute kick forward. Just look at the way they move the ball out, kicking across the floor here. Round puts it through the middle and scores a sensational try to start the game.
Wonderful start for Paul Round. So he scored against Halifax at the Watersheddings, and he's done it again here at Thrumhall already. And what a start this ought to be for Duncan Platt, who gets his first points in an Oldham jersey. Well, you couldn't ask for a better start to a debut than that. 2 points already, and Oldham are 6 points to the good. Well, that'll have shaken Halifax a little.
Well, that's right, and good value for it. They've thrown the ball about, realising that they can use it while it's still dry, and that was great innovation.
It's Round already back in the thick of it. Here's big Neil Clawson. His father Terry was a very fine rugby league servant in many clubs, including Oldham. The ball went straight into touch there off a Halifax leg, so it'll be a scrum down. Nice picture of Mike Ford feeding the scrum, but it's out for Halifax. And a good break, chance of a break through the middle by Peter Coyne, the Australian. Wilf George has come in field to help him. Now Bob Grogan, Anderson, who's got good pace, and down on this right-hand touchline is a chance for Rob Hutchinson, the Humberside amateur, to this summer. So a lively response, and Wilf George in the number 5 shirt has come right across to this wing in a vain bid to get across, but he had 2 goes at it and didn't make it on either occasion. Lively response.
Well, that's right, and they know that they've got a game on their hands, and in front of their home crowd, Halifax have to put everything into their attacks, and they most certainly stretch the Oldham defence in that move.
Nice to see Wilf George back in the game. His only tries this season came in a Yorkshire Cup tie against Batley. He'd love to add to that. Clawson. Well, it's not the loveliest afternoon in Halifax, but the rugby has certainly been entertaining in the opening minutes. It's Halifax's chance here with John Pendlebury, with a little reverse ball for Paul Dixon. 15 yards out. Coyne, Grogan, no way through there. And already the Oldham numbers becoming indecipherable almost. That was Paul Taylor getting his man actually, with the scrum cap. There's the big number 10, Dan Staines. McCallion. Oh, good play once more by Pendlebury. He sensed that the pass to his left wasn't on. Last tackle. So McCallion hoisted it, and Paul Round managed to get his boot in the way. and finds the most extraordinary touch imaginable.
Well, yes, they're a little fortuitous, but Oldham's defence is organising quite well. They are sealing off on the outside and driving Halifax down the middle, and that's a good tactic.
Again Grogan, and that's a good intervention by Colin Whitfield wearing the scrum cap. He timed his run beautifully then and was a bit unlucky not to get away. Coyne's had a lot of the ball. Pendlebury slipping the ball for Paul Dixon. That was inventive again, and Paul Dixon takes some stopping close to anybody's line. So Halifax seems to have got the bit between the teeth now. Coyne, McCallion, good tackling from Oldham, holding them out. So can the fortress be breached? Pendlebury along the line, Grogan once more. Suspicious as though it would have been a forward pass. Doesn't matter, picked up by Paul Round. But both sides obviously very willing to throw it around. Yes,
they are both sides intent obviously on playing good rugby league football by using the ball before it gets too heavy. But
Mick Bardsley brought back into the pack for this one, with Terry Flanagan out. Terry Flanagan here today, but had a knee operation this week. Telling me how he detests watching the game rather than playing in it. So Platt has a kick, and we heard Tony Barrow before the game telling Duncan Platt he hoped he would use his boots to good effect today in the kicking game. David Holmes, our first look at the former Yorkshire Rugby Union scrum half in a rugby league jersey. That is a good kick, and that's heading straight for touch. That's a brilliant kick, it really was, from Peter Coyne.
That's right, that was a lovely kick, and he's using the slope on the ground, which is quite considerable. And of course, what they want to do is pin Oldham down in that corner to allow them to not to run the ball out from situations like that, so they have to kick themselves and really come back at the field of them again.
Well, Oldham, despite their poor record this season, look at that, the number of points, they're only 8 points in arrears over the whole season. So there's nothing been wrong with their attack this year, it's been their defence. Again, it was Coyne following up to catch Platt. Well played by Round in getting it away out of the tackle. This is good too from hooker Andy Ruane, another former witness man. Mike Ford, his turn to kick. And again, it's an intelligent kick because Whitfield is going to have to sprint back there, just keeping it in. And Oldham up quickly. Well, this season Halifax won 7, lost 8, as you see. So they badly want to get a win today to make it even again. Oh, and nearly an interception there for Kevin Meadows. But it's 6 more tackles now, and Bob Grogan stretches those legs of his. Rather lucky there to get away with that, Halifax.
Well, they were very fortunate, and that was a speculative pass which nearly went to the wrong man.
I didn't look to play that ball at all, but the referee took a lenient view. Another of those speculative passes, and this time they have managed to get it out to Rob Hutchinson, who slips. Not surprisingly, it's going to be an afternoon where players are going to find great difficulty in keeping their feet.
They certainly are. It's muddy, there's a lot of rain has fallen overnight and on the ground now, and it's coming down quite heavy.
And he hasn't found touch this time, Coyne, so Platt, brother of Andy Platt, the Great Britain international. The light's already on here on what's been a very murky day. And, good running from O'Sullivan. That was a brilliant break from the little Australian, who now looks for the support inside and gets it from Henderson. Well, O'Sullivan's certainly a sprightly character.
Well, that was a fine turn of speed, and that's taken relief and made a great break down the middle.
Neil Clawson is plunging his way through the middle, inside, and they're really throwing it around as Ruane found Black again. Took the two of them to hold Paul round. And they're queuing up almost here, throwing this ball around. It was knocked back, so it didn't count against Leo Casey. And despairing moments for Halifax here, and they've kicked forward once more to test Colin Whitfield. But there was good running there, first of all by O'Sullivan and then by Clawson.
Yes, they backed up very well here, and they're coming onto the ball on the burst, and that's an important art. Just look at the way he's running straight down the middle, drawing the defence in, and the support is there yet again.
Back live with Big Mick Bardsley. Ford. There seems to be good coordination in the Oldham side. As the rain starts to pelt down again. It's Oldham in the ascendancy for the moment. It's going to be a showery afternoon. Sort the players hate. And the kick forward by Round. Well, they're going to catch him behind his own line, so it'll be a drop out under the posts. But it's been a very enterprising start by Oldham.
Yes, they have. They've backed up well, and their short into passing has been a highlight of the game so far.
You can see by the expressions just what sort of an afternoon it is. It's a day for madness. Well, that one shot straight through Chris O'Sullivan's legs. Picked up by Steve Robinson. He's lost it in the tackle, but it's a penalty awarded against Paul Dixon. Referee Colin Steele from Dalton in Furness saying that Dixon did that illegally. Good play from Oldham once more, and they've kept it going. It was a forward pass. But they're maintaining the pressure, Oldham here. Well, it's David Holmes who takes it from the scrum. He's been in good form recently. I know Andy Gregory paid him quite a tribute after the John Player match last week at Wigan.
Yes, he's a live wire. He's always game to take on the defence, and that's good as a scrum half. Perhaps one fault is that perhaps he runs too often instead of getting the ball out to his outsides.
Nice close-up of Colin Whitfield's back there. Penalty offside against Oldham. Awarded by Colin Steele, the official from Dalton in Furness. Good touch found by Platt. The last time we saw him on scrum down was for Widnes when they won the championship last season at Hunslet. But he's got a real chance to establish himself in this Oldham side, who come forward once more with Bardsley. Clawson manages to fend off a couple of tacklers. But, lost the ball. So there'll be another scrum. It's going to be a day for muddy marvels.
Yes, I'm very impressed with Oldham actually, because they've taken the short passes and running straight at the defence, and this is something that's lacking in a lot of teams' games when people start crabbing across the field. But Oldham at the moment taking the short passes and running straight at Halifax defence and causing them some problems.
So here they come again, just outside that 25. They'll be looking for the big fellas, Bardsley and Round here, to make inroads. That was Bardsley. O'Sullivan looks for the gap again, and he keeps finding gaps, does O'Sullivan too. It was Dixon who nailed him then. Ford showed it for Platt, and in the end didn't give him it. It's been nearly all Oldham in these opening minutes of the game. Bardsley just managing to avoid Dan Staines. He could certainly known about it if it hit him. There was a bit of roughing up there on O'Sullivan, and so Dick Fairbank, whose brother John actually plays for Oldham, though he's not in the side today, gets a rather stern lecture. So there'll be a chance here for Duncan Platt to extend Oldham's lead to 8 points. Left-footed, here comes Platt, and he's killed it, and it's over. It just crept over that crossbar. So Halifax 0, Oldham 8, and what a good start for both Oldham and for Duncan Platt. Well, we talked about Ross Strudwick, the Halifax coach, being an innovator at the start of the programme. He's certainly a man in his own right, because he's the only coach I know who doesn't actually sit on the bench. And we can go to Ross Strudwick, who is now standing with the crowd behind the sticks which Oldham are attacking. Ross, you must be very disappointed with the start your side has made to the game.
Yeah, it's not a good start for us. I thought we had 3 scoring opportunities and we haven't scored either of them. But we seem to be putting ourselves under pressure with these stupid penalties inside our own half.
I've got to ask you why you do this, walk around the ground as you do, instead of taking up your usual position on the bench, Ross.
I find that I can't study the game at eye level. I like to get up high and look down onto the game like a draft board.
Well, you're certainly seeing plenty there at the moment, and you must be thinking of how you can change the course of the game.
Well, the way it's going right now, I don't think it's going to change. But if we keep chipping away at them and just keep hitting it up the middle and going for it, I think the brakes will open up before half-time or just after half-time.
Thanks very much, Ross. We'll try and pin you down somewhere in the crowd a little later.
No worries.
Neil Clawson is the offender this time. Well, referee Steele, right on the job.
Yes, right on the job, and penalised them coming in. The linesman was there as well, and I'm surprised that Halifax haven't kicked off, and as Ross was saying, to get down in the half before they start playing their fancy football.
Well, they've made it now within 15 yards of the Oldham sticks. And here is Dan Staines. Well, it was a terrific tackle on him as well from his opposite, number 10, Leo Casey, brought in to do that job. Paul Dixon. They always look to Dixon. 8 tries already this season. Pendlebury. Could well have been a forward pass if you were an Oldham fan, I would have thought. And they're desperately trying to get the ball off one another. The heads are going in. And again the penalty is awarded against Fairbank. And then he said something and referee Steele knows him a further 10 yards on. And then he said something else again.
Yes, I mean, there was no doubt at all about what he was doing there. He just didn't like being tackled, held in the tackle by two people and trying to headbutt, which the referee is quite correct in awarding a penalty against him.
Duncan Platt decided to place that ball and smack it straight towards me in the commentary box. Missed us by a couple of feet, which is why I'm still talking to you. And there's a chance here for a run for Leo Casey. He did a terrific tackle a moment ago, I must say, on Staines. He was a big man. Round. Ford, Clausen. Ball was lost at this time. Clausen is the sort of forward who might profit on this type of a pitch.
Yes, I'm very impressed with Oldham, because if you notice in play all the time, the man is running for the gap and not the man, and that's causing Halifax some problems. They're not doing the mundane things of running into the man with the ball. They're looking for the gap, running straight, and causing chaos in the Halifax defence, which quite frankly hasn't organised itself at all, really.
You really would have thought Halifax would have come here all guns firing after their performance against Wigan last weekend.
Yes, they played very well. They played an expansive game. They used all 13 players, moved the ball around quite well. But the conditions today don't really allow for that, and I would have thought they would have been safer to have got into Oldham's half and then started playing their football.
Fairbank seems to be a marked man at the moment there. Pendlebury, they'll certainly look to him to play the football, but it's fallen once more again into Paul Round's hands. He's been playing at full back this season, the number 12 here, Paul Round, but really he's a forward, a very versatile footballer.
Well, it says much, doesn't it, for rugby players in general now, league players in particular, that they can interchange in positions, and that's good for the game.
With a little spin from Charlie McAllister. First we've seen of him in the game. Barnsley, we've seen a lot of him. Ford, it's a pity for Oldham that Sullivan couldn't take that pass, because he's got the speed to have got away that time.
I'm quite impressed actually with Oldham's team plan game at the moment. They are putting the ball forward well, popping it up in front of people, and people are running straight, and they just look a good sound team.
So you think Tony Barrow's already had some influence?
I think he has, yes, and it's causing Halifax some problems, and as Ross said, they are making a number of mistakes.
Halifax have already decided to replace Dick Fairbank with young Jason Ramshaw. A very white shirt has come on in place of a very muddy one. Looks as though he's just done a shift down the pit. Whitfield has come up, and this is better for Halifax. A good straight running from Colin Whitfield there. Coyne. And again, Oldham's tackling is good, it's tigerish. Not a good ball. Fumbled backwards by Peter Coyne. Colin Whitfield. Going to dance his way through the mud. The conditions are going to deteriorate as the game goes on. So Pendlebury elects to kick. And it's the first take that Platt has had to make, and he's done it well. Well, it's amazing this season that Oldham, although they're bottom of the table, are one of the most prolific scorers. Halifax, on the other hand, have a very good defensive record, but struggle to get points, as they're doing now. Here's young Rob Hutchinson, playing out of position really, but Ross Strudwick said that he did a good job on the wing last week when he came on for his debut. Scored as well. Now Coyne is the man they'll be looking to. Grogan to Anderson, and this is a chance. Anderson gets the support from McCallion. Hutchinson spills the pass though. Oldham have it again, and Mike Ford with a chance to set something up here. Runs straight back into Grogan. Halifax just appear a bit too tentative.
Yes, they are. They're looking. They were quite impressive when I saw them playing against Wigan last week, but they don't seem to have the same sort of confidence in their ability.
Here's a running chance, and again it's the big man Round who's storming away there. He's an exceptionally good and exciting runner, which is why he gets so many tries from the second row. Ford. And Henderson's bundle over out of play. It was a whitey shirt when he went out. It probably won't be when he comes back. Well, it's a day in which players want to keep warm and keep active out there. And Oldham certainly seem to be on their mettle. Pendlebury ploughing a lonely furrow through the middle for a moment. Asks for support from Grogan. Well, that's the Oldham bench. Tony Barrow on the far side, just having a little bit of something to say. Two substitutes in the middle of the picture. Platt, chance to run now. We've seen his kicking abilities and his catching ability. Didn't make much headway. And there's the substitute with a very, very white shirt compared with the others. Clawson. He's one of those high-stepping runners. Now there's a chance maybe as a gap appears over on that side, but a very fine tackle. The tackle was on Henderson, the touch judge was on straight away though. And it's going to be a penalty awarded to Oldham and against Wilf George. I must confess I didn't quite see what happened over there.
Yes, what happened then was that Wilf George stayed with his man, sold him a dummy, and he took the winger out of the game. And of course the linesman quite rightly saw it and awarded the penalty against him.
So far, Halifax have conceded 8 penalties on their own ground, and that's not good. One of them, one of the scrums, one against the head. And here come Oldham once more, and again it's Round who's involved in just about everything at the moment. Casey. Clawson aiming to get the ball away again. It's really promising play from Oldham, is this. They might be bottom of the table, but they're a match for anybody. Well, it was slick, and it nearly slithered out of the hand. And that ball must be very greasy, difficult to handle. And he's attempting the little chip through and follow up again, but surely the ball will be put out. Will drop out behind the posts. I've always liked Paul Round as a forward. He's a big, strong chap, and on his day, he takes some holding. That's
right. When St Helens sold him to Oldham, I think they were sad to get rid of him at that particular time, but he wanted to move. He felt he wanted pastures green. But he is a good all-round footballer, and his versatility speaks for itself, playing full-back one week, and of course back in the second row, a position he's well used to the next week.
Again, Clawson did well to get that one away. They've certainly used the ball better than Halifax, although there's only been the one try in the game so far, and that in the first minute. We're inside the last 10 minutes of the half. As Platt drags himself out of Grogan's tackle. And McAllister, spirited running from the Maori. Terrific running from McAllister. Seemed to want to beat everybody on his own, actually. He showed just what a strong fellow he is. And they're still coming looking on this sixth tackle. Let's see what happens here as the chip is put towards the corner. If he'd have bounced well, then Oldham could have been in. But what a strong and vigorous showing there from McAllister.
That's right, yes, he is a strong chap. He dips his shoulder, knocks the tackler off time and time again, as he showed on that particular move. But Oldham are most impressive because they're using the short pass and their handling is sure in a game when they don't want long passes to go out because of the conditions.
Well, that was an important scrum for David Holmes to win, thanks to Seamus McCallion, the hooker, of course. Not seen much of Holmes in an attacking guise as yet. So they asked Colin Whitfield to kick them out of trouble again. And the ball skids across there, finally picked up by Robinson. Well, Oldham are certainly playing a possession game, intent on not doing anything silly, which is sensible for the conditions.
It really is, yes. It's a sure game. They're sticking well to it, and that's good.
Put that one down to ground. As Dixon and Pendlebury followed through. Nice to see a bit of mirth there between Mike Ford and referee Steele. This game is still full of merry quips. It's also full of penalties, and one given here to Halifax. So Halifax here with a chance, and George will certainly run at them. He's got the strength to get all the way. Would George? It took about 4 of them to knock him over then and keep him out. And well, a popular figure at Thrum Hall, scored a try, of course, in that cup final victory over St Helens. He was only inches away here.
Yes, a strong, powerful run. Takes it running down the slope, and it takes everything that Oldham in the guise of 4 players to push him out to touch.
And here is a chance. Coyne spins it out. Grogan across the line. Oh, if the interception had been good, they'd have been in trouble. As it is, David Holmes has to chase back. Picks up now, sets off, skips round one, and can't beat the second tackle, that of O'Sullivan. So Halifax really threw away another chance there. Anderson. Well, with Halifax still looking for their first points of the game, I wonder what the coach Ross Strudwick is going to say to the team in the dressing room at half-time. Let's ask him. Ross, what words are you preparing for them?
Well, at this stage, there's not much I can say to them, except that they're putting themselves under pressure. You know, they're putting themselves under pressure that they don't have to be under.
This looks a bit better for you now, though. There could well be a try here. Tony Anderson, who's a very quick man, is going towards that corner. Oh, and again, it's gone into a pair of Oldham hands. Those must be despairing moments for you, Ross, when a try looks so much on, and then when it goes to ground like that.
Well, they move the ball out, Halifax. They still throw in long passes, which doesn't help. But Whitfield, who's been their most penetrative back, comes into the line, times it just right. On this run now, going for the defence, comes back inside, Platt sizes up the tackle here and does it well. Loose ball goes inside and Oldham get off the hook.
Well, if Oldham can go in 8 points up at half-time, they'll be well pleased with their first 40 minutes. And they've just got 4 minutes to hold out, and they're in possession as well, so it's looking good for them. Well, Platt's made a confident start on his debut.
Yes, he has. He's made no mistakes. He's done the right things that a full-back can do, settles his team down, taking balls well in the air, and made 1 or 2 nice tackles.
Oldham also winning at half-back at the moment.
Yes, they are. Mick Ford is an exciting half-back, and he's spraying out these short passes, bringing his forwards close to the scrum, and making very few mistakes.
So Halifax do have a chance now. And they desperately need a score before the interval. It's not often they're nilled at Thrum Hall. Ball back, came off the Oldham man, so in the rugby league rules that means you get 6 more tackles, so that was a bit fortuitous to Halifax. Perhaps their luck is changing. McCallion from the acting halfback, he's Irishman, and they've put the ball down again, and it's back in Oldham hands, and again it's with Paul Round. He's had a fine first half. Oh, and Casey's broken through that tackle from Coyne, and the referee is going to pull the Halifax man out here and award Oldham a penalty, and they could go into double figures from this. Explanation from Neil James doesn't satisfy referee Steele. Sensibly, Oldham will take a pot at goal.
Yes, I think it's important here, because if they miss the goal, as long as Duncan Platt can kick it hard enough to get it dead, it means that Halifax still have to drop out to them as well. So it's either 2 points on the board or at least possession back again.
Scott Wilson is the second Halifax substitute used in this first half. It's Bob Grogan who's left the field. An important kick. Duncan Platt. Well, they tend to drift a little bit to his kicks, and that one drifted just wide, whereas the previous one drifted just over. Here is Scott Wilson on for Rob Hutchinson. Some of the players here becoming almost unrecognisable. It's Oldham, I can tell you that, in the red and white, and Duncan Platt with the ball in his hands. Tackler is Wilson, and we're in injury time in this first half. And very much in Oldham's minds now, just to retain the possession. thunderous tackle by Staines. And indeed the hooter sounds, but play will continue for a moment or two until the next tackle. And now they'll head for the dressing rooms. At half-time it's Halifax 0, Oldham 8, and I think it's fair to say that Oldham are full value for their lead.
They really are. Halifax haven't played like a confident side at all, allowed Oldham to get in amongst them, and Oldham have played very well, and they'll be going at half-time with Tony Barrow insisting that they come out and play the same tactic the second half, and they could be on their way to a win.
Just the one try, it came in the very first minute of the game from Paul Round. 2 goals from Duncan Platt. Oldham lead 8-0. Join us for the second half after the break.
And Halifax are playing too expansive a game at the moment, and as a result of it, they're doing nothing, are they?
When they get into an attacking position,
they throw the ball in. I know, that's right. Yeah, very well actually. I can't hear any playback on you at all. I can't hear Robert or anybody here. Not very well anyway. I couldn't hear Ross Strudwick at all. Yes, I can hear him now. I can hear him now.
Hearing Jonesy now?
Yeah. Thanks. That's better. Okay, thanks.
He would be when they highlighted the match there. Alan Wicker strikes again. Right, with Robert Charles. Okay. I think it's all right. I've turned a knob up for him. I think he'll be all right. Yeah, I heard every word, yeah. But I've turned Jones's directed talk back up, which was David's, which was very low, so that might well have not possibly programmed sound as the other one. I don't know, just let me have a look. Yeah, all your knobs should be up a bit, David, really.
Yeah.
That one needs to be up.
That's
yeah, I'm just looking to see if there's anywhere in particular you could get, which is huddled, you know. Yeah, and I say something about audible day and all that lot, but good crowd nonetheless. Yeah. Superstar.
1 2 1 2 1 2. Can you hear me? Yeah.
Round. Played very well. Yes, he is, without doubt. That's all. Good. John, they're calling him.
Sorry, Peter. Yeah, that's fine, yeah. Yeah. Sir's trousers will be well pleased.
You know what he did? He did that.
Where's he going to go?
Same places.
Funny thing is, the bloke standing next to him. Can you give me that?
We get what? Excuse me, sir. I've got to give you your bus fare and tell you to piss off.
These people can be replaced.
He's got the idea from Ross Strudwick. He thinks that producers can walk anywhere now.
Yes. Yeah, that's right. Well, I wouldn't. I'm getting some stick from the crew here. They seem to be unwilling to cover this. I'm getting a bit of stick here.
I'll tell you what, Robert, if you
the
ask
crew have had a whip round Jonesy and they got 30,000 together for him.
if you ask the wrong question, Robert, you might end up with a groin strain.
Hey, listen, 2 cameras here, boys.
Oh.
Hey, I'll tell you what. I bet Nick Powell doesn't get 2 cameras, does he? 3 cameras. Bet Nick Powell doesn't get 3 cameras, does he? Unbelievable. Well, my assessment of the first half is.
Yeah.
Don't you dare! I might go. I might go.
I might go.
Well, Tony.
You know which team he's coaching?
Oldham, is it? Warrington.
Warrington, yeah.
Can you lean out the window and give us a wave?
What are we doing?
Tony.
Surprised you haven't had a shot of me yet.
Oh yeah, we should have done. I'm going to Hey, Helmy.
Yeah.
I'm going to interview this policewoman here.
Oh, are you? Oh,
yeah,
there's a few
she's
around.
she's ready.
She's got black
Hang on,
stockings
hang
as
on.
well.
Can you just?
It's not working.
Hey, can you just tell us what you think of it so far?
It's not working, is it, Mike?
It is working, yeah.
Well, rubbish in that case.
Oh, right. There you go. That's what she thought of John Helm.
Has Robert got a monitor?
Hey?
Has Robert got a monitor?
No, why? Hey?
Oh.
Hey. Hey, it was that park. It was that parking offence.
Yeah, muffin the mule.
She's not a kissogram, is she, Rob?
Oh, well.
No, but he is.
Yeah,
He
but
is.
I am.
Yeah. Does she know you were second in the Robert Redford lookalike?
It was won by Shane Horrow, yeah. Hey, listen, John.
Yeah.
What am I going to ask him?
Oh, good question.
I'll tell you what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
I'm going to say you seem to be using the ball better than Halifax.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah?
It's the tactics, the
Yeah.
tactical game that they're
Yeah.
playing, really.
It seems to be a tactical game you're playing.
Yeah.
No, I can't say that, can I?
No, but the game that you're playing seems to be paying off, sort of thing. The tactics you're employing seem to be paying off.
Yeah, okay then.
You know, I mean, they've
then I'm-
kept Halifax almost in their own half,
Yeah.
haven't they, for most of the game?
All right.
Yeah, and when
Okay.
you've got past the 5th question. Yeah. At least they've got new shirts on. Welcome back to Thrum Hall. It's a miserable afternoon in Halifax, but Rugby League continues to attract the crowds, as you can see. And I would imagine that the Oldham coach, Tony Barrow, is very happy with the way the first half has gone. Let's hear from him now down on the touchline.
Tony, the tactics you're employing seem to be paying off.
They're paying off at the moment, and as long as we keep kicking them down the field this half, we'll be okay. We've got the wind at our backs this half, and we've got to use it. We've got to keep kicking them into the corners, sending them back, keeping them turning round, and if we do that, we'll be okay. But we've got to tackle when we send them down the field.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
He must have heard every word. And I think the first thing to say at the start of the second half is a debt of gratitude from the commentary team to both teams for changing their shirts. We can see the numbers again, although quite how long that will be for remains to be seen. Pristine clean. Halifax will kick off through the right boot of John Pendlebury. And I think Tony Barrow's assessment was spot on there. It's the kicking game that counts in the tackling.
It really is, that's right. They have the wind at their backs, as he rightly said, and it will be important to keep them down there, because you can make mistakes in their half, you can't make mistakes in your own.
I'd like to have been a fly on the dressing room wall in the Halifax quarters. I'm sure Ross Strudwick had a lot to say to the team. Ruane. Signed for Rochdale Hornets, start of this season. In the first half, Halifax took the scrums amazingly 8-1, and yet had so little to show for it, and they won 2 against the head as well. But they also conceded 6 more penalties than Oldham, and they made 1 more error too. Staines ducks under those 2 tackles. Had a very fine game against Wigan apparently, was voted Halifax's man of the match. And that's a good kick, and this is a better start for Halifax to the second half, and if that one rolls in, they'll feel that the tide might just start to turn.
That's right, I think if they'd have done a little more of that in the first half and then steadied their play up a bit, they'd have paid dividends, but they haven't done that, and Oldham have stuck to their game plan quite well and have looked very impressive.
First penalty of the half goes to Halifax. Coyne it is, putting that ball into touch. Eight points the difference. Halifax really need a score now. This is the sort of situation where they look to the likes of Paul Dixon and Neil James. James got a hat-trick on the opening day of the season against Widnes. And McCallion's pass there is to Dixon. No way through for him though. Holmes. Tony Barrow was talking at half-time about the need for good tackling, and so far it's been exemplary from Oldham. There's Grogan. And it's to ground again. Knock on given by the referee, so it'll be a scrum. The Oldham's ball, well heeled by hooker Ruane. There's Ruane again, towering kick, sending Colin Whitfield dashing back there. Ruane following up his own kick. He wasn't the first man up. That was Taylor, the loose forward. Grogan, they've really got to look to Grogan and Anderson, who've got the fleet of foot to get away. We don't get many running chances in these sort of conditions. Probably expected a free-scoring game.
No, difficult. It is underfoot. It's very slippery, and passes are being dropped there because they're passing far too long.
Pendlebury again uses his boot. And once more it'll be Platt who'll collect. And he's been very sound at full-back. Doesn't make much ground. And once more the penalty is given. It's against Oldham. So something to cheer for the Halifax followers.
That's right, it's a basic principle in the game to play the ball properly. He didn't do just that, and the referee was quite right in penalising him.
Chances here then. Regrouping in front of the posts. Tremendous tackling once more, that time from Mick Bardsley. And they just don't seem to be able to find a way through the net. And once more, Dixon knocking on about 3 times. Disappointment for the captain, as Oldham think of bringing off right winger Steve Robinson. I've noticed he was hobbling a moment or two ago. Keith Atkinson is the substitute. So 3 of the 4 substitutes already on. And, he's been hobbling ever since half-time. Still only 8 points in it though, so we've still got a game very much on our hands. Missed out a man there, sold an outrageous dummy. He's still unable to release the pass. Paul Taylor, and now Platt kicks. A bit symptomatic of Halifax's day, that. Then Colin Whitfield runs straight into Kevin Meadows.
Yes, nothing seems to be going right for them. They need a steadying influence now. It needs somebody to slow them down and to reorganise their defence and their attack, because Oldham are tackling like tigers.
Oldham have won only 1 league game all season at home against Hawkingston Rovers, so they'll be perhaps scenting a second success. A little bit scrappy that. The Halifax crowd have been rather disenchanted with some of the performances this season, and the style of the side has certainly changed. They're certainly willing to fling it about in the attempt to prize Oldham open. They finally got it out to Scott Wilson. It's a rather peculiar route. George. Well, he's a willing trier, is Wilf George. Dixon. Well, it's a hard slog at the moment. Halifax certainly enjoyed more possession of this half.
Yes, they have, but they're not using it terribly well, and they're just having these short drives in. There doesn't seem to be any sort of pattern with their play, and Oldham are coping quite well.
Now, what can Pendlebury do? It's a difficult swirling kick. Once more, Halifax lost the advantage. Really, nothing's gone right for them. He's a willing trier again, is Duncan Platt. Made 15 good yards there, and Chris O'Sullivan gives some more respite with that kick towards the corner. Again, what Tony Barrow was talking about. So what can Wilf George do on this side of the field? Not a lot. 3 of them up there immediately. Anderson. Well, Pendlebury's probably the most astute kicker in the Halifax side. That's certainly gained some good yardage. And that's the thing that Halifax have to do.
Yes, they have. They need to get up there and play it in Oldham's half. They're not doing it particularly well. Oldham are on the safety first tactic, keeping the ball and using the six play the balls and then banging it straight back down the field.
Now McAllister, huge punt. Well, that was a rugby union type of kick, and it nearly found the touch as well. It came out of rugby union, of course, at Bradford and Bingley, Charlie McAllister. Oh, Colin Whitfield, the best we've seen from Halifax. Terrific running through Whitfield. And he certainly looks to have settled into the full-back position again very well.
Yes, they say he's just playing his best form now, and that's just part of it.
Here's Wilf George. Took the ball from Holmes. McCallie, Pendlebury, Coyne, right on halfway. He runs into two big fellas. I think they're trying to bury him there. McCallie, Grogan, who tries to weave his way through knee height. Unfortunate slip by Neil James. And it'll be the last tackle, and therefore a kick from someone. Pendlebury. And that's better. Immediately tackled. A few shouts have come on Halifax beneath me. And the crowd just getting a little bit anxious, I think.
Yes, it's been a lacklustre performance by them so far, and as I said, they really do need a general. John Pendlebury really needs to get a grip now and start displaying some of the skills that we know he can do to work the ball around in this Halifax side to take on Oldham, because they're coping quite well with everything they're doing.
Platt's kick though is charged down and picked up by David Holmes, and oh, if he'd have got that ball inside, there was a real chance for Halifax then. And in the end there was a knock-on. And you can see the looks of despair on the Halifax faces. They just look a little in wonderment. Oldham are taking Mick Bardsley off at the moment, which is the reason for the delay. So it's goodbye to Mick Bardsley for the moment, and hello to Colin Hawkyard, very experienced player. Well, Ross Strudwick is still up there in the crowd. First of all, I can establish whereabouts you are, Russ. Where have you moved to now?
Still in the same position, actually.
Are you happy with the way the second half has gone?
Yeah, a lot better.
Could be a try for you here. Well, but it just seems at the moment, Russ, that whenever you get in a dangerous attacking position, the final pass doesn't count.
Every time we're in a try-scoring position, we just do something silly, just like that. You know, the boys are playing well enough. They're just putting themselves under pressure. If they just settle down and just let things happen, I think you'll find, you know, they'd be 10 tries up.
I'm
but
sure
they're just forcing things.
It was a very tense dressing room at half-time, was it?
It was a pretty intense dressing room, yeah.
Thanks, Ross. Well, we'll see if Halifax can conjure up something here. They're inside that 25. McCallion. Here's Grogan again. But again, you've got to say that Oldham's tackling has been absolutely spot on.
Yes, it has. They're moving up together quickly and everybody goes together, and that's making it difficult for Halifax to engineer any room.
All round again, setting off. He's run so well as the big man today. The ball hit his legs, bounced up in the air. He then collected it, off he went. And here's Clausen, who's run well too. They've perhaps been the two outstanding members of the Oldham pack.
Yes, they have, and they're running straight, and they're taking on the defence, and they have safe hands as well, which is, with conditions like this, is good.
A long loping pass, which McAllister picked up and then lost. It'll be another scrum. few players taking knocks this afternoon, and McCallion, I think, is the latest. But Halifax still have got the ball out of the scrum. They're reduced for the moment. There you see, just in the corner of your picture, McCallion having the treatment. He looks to be in a bit of agony as well. I'm always fearful for the trainers in this game. One of them's going to get clobbered one of these days, I'm sure, during a game. Dixon. That unique running style of his runs into an Oldham wall. And for the first time, Temp has just become a little bit frayed. They'll drag him to his feet. He's got to carry on. So Colin Harkyard has made his presence felt early on after his appearance. To be a penalty. Stiff arm tackle. They've not even found the touch. Actually, the game has been played in quite a good spirit in view of the conditions.
Yes, it is, and that was typical of Halifax woes, kicking for touch then all the time in the world and failed to find it, and that won't do their confidence any good at all.
Penalties given against Halifax for offside. We're not far away from the midpoint of the second half, and Halifax still haven't got on the scoreboard. And now, there are more than words being exchanged. Leo Casey incurs the referee's wrath, and it's a yellow card for Neil James. So he'll have 10 minutes in the dressing room. Let's have a shower and a change of shirt. Just about the first time that Oldham have been this close to the Halifax line in this second half. It's been all defence for them.
Yes, they have. They've tackled Tony Barrow, asked for it at half-time. They've certainly done that for him. And to add to the frustrations now of Halifax, they've lost a player as well. And now Oldham must capitalise on this situation in these next 5 or 10 minutes. And perhaps that could seal the game for them.
Fairbank is coming back on for Halifax, with McCallion limping off. There goes the Irishman from Mould Green. And back with the action, here's Oldham's chance. And it would certainly do their confidence the whole world of good if they could win here.
Yes, it will, and they're playing well. They've done everything correctly. They've used the short ball, they've run straight and hard, and they've tackled and organised themselves well in defence.
Round had to pump his own man Hawkyard out of the way then. But, the penalty was for crossing, and so it goes to Halifax. There's an obstruction, and Coyne hammers it into touch. And Peter Coyne is said by Wally Lewis to possess the best kicking game down under. He's not had a lot of chance to show it today, but you can see that he does know what he's doing when he's got the ball in his hands and about to put the boot to it. Oof, long looping pass. Whitfield doing nicely there. Halifax's better moments have been when Colin Whitfield's managed to come up in the line.
Yes, it is. He seems to be their only potent attacking strength at the moment.
And again it's lost, and again it's Paul Round who snaffled it. Here's Hawkyard once more. Always good to bring on a fresh pair of legs on a pitch like this one.
Especially so, that's right.
Now the full-back Platt has come through and he's broken through the ranks of the Halifax defence. He seemed just a little uncertain for a moment, so he seemed not able to believe it that he'd got that far. And here's the high up and under. Has Halifax in trouble maybe? It's a good take. Good solid take by Colin Whitfield, who got a rather bang on the head last week, and that's why he's wearing the scrum cap. He might have even thought about that.
I think had he been playing for the full game, they might have beaten Wigan last week. He was playing that well. He is a good full-back. He positions himself well, as he did for that kick then.
Well, amazing. We're talking about points kicking and he's not put the ball in play, out of play.
Yes, Platt goes through here. Now this is where the uncertainty comes in. He doesn't know whether to take the full-back or not. He might have been better placed to have thrown it inside to McAllister. He didn't do so, but he did gain a lot of ground.
Here's David Holmes. Scud his way through. The tackle, I think, was a little too high for the liking of the referee that time. So there'll be a penalty against Paul Round. Well, he is prostrate. Well, it's a grim battle, is this one. Now, coming into the line was Fairbank. Pendlebury. Fighting for Oldham to hold out at this stage. So if Halifax could get a score now, they'd be right back in it with their tails up. So again, they've spilled the pass, and they've really struggled to hold on to it today.
They really have. They don't seem to have had any game plan at all, and it's all in fits and starts. Individuals taking the ball through and then flipping it up and nobody there to take it and taking their eye off the ball, a result of which they haven't played particularly well.
And Oldham have just done as much as has been asked of them, really. Ooh, from McAllister. Did he hold on or did he not? The referee has awarded the penalty to Halifax.
That was a silly thing to do then, to throw a long ball into the post. They haven't had the ball for long periods of time, and that's going to tell against them in the end. You can defend for so long, but it's always harder running without the ball than it is with the ball in your hands.
That was Staines, a big Australian from Toowoomba. This is Fairbank again. Might have been a ploy by Ross Strudwick to take Fairbank off in that first half, so he could bring him back now. Oh, and again it's stolen by Oldham. And they'll run it out here with Round first of all. Then McAllister. He's holding them off and barging his way through. Charlie McAllister. I love him at Oldham. He's running. Now Hawkyard. First time we've seen O'Sullivan in this second half, and he wasn't allowed to play the ball properly there, and the referee quite rightly awarded the penalty against Grogan of Halifax.
So I think Oldham now have to slow it all down. Platt will get this into touch. They want to use their six balls properly. As I said, they haven't had it for long periods, and what they want to do now is take the game a little bit to Halifax.
That was a good kick, and it's amazing the slant on this pitch away from us on this side of the ground. Down there, quite a considerable drop.
That's right, it's terribly difficult to get out of that corner when you're playing from a defensive positions, and that's really where Oldham want to keep Halifax now.
There was a 15-foot drop from this side of the pitch down to the other one. And Oldham coming very much on the attack again. They'll use their six tackles. There's a bit of an ooh from the crowd then. The referee saw nothing wrong with that one, so on they go. Oh, good little reverse ball. Clausen gets it away too. There's an opportunity maybe for O'Sullivan to drive his way through the middle. One thing where Halifax have been good, of course, has been defending their own line. They've not conceded a lot of points this season. They're having to defend grimly now, as again it was Paul Round. And there could be a drop goal attempt, I suppose, or he'll try and chip through for himself yet again. But it's going to be the drop out.
Well, they used the ball sensibly then, because they've kept Halifax down, pinned down, and they used the 6 balls, every one of them. Halifax now have to drop out, and what they're going to do is keep plugging away now at this Halifax defence.
Taylor feeding O'Sullivan. Casey skips away from one tackle. These are better moments for Oldham. Halifax really defending grimly now as Clausen turns away from the tackle, feeds it back inside. There could be a try over here for McAllister, who's a strong fellow. And McAllister gives the suggestion he scored. The referee runs across, has a word with the test judge, awards the try, and Charlie McAllister is over for Oldham. Well, he's threatened on a couple of occasions with some surging runs, and that's the try that could clinch the game for Oldham. There he is, Charlie McAllister, number 4. He's scored on every appearance he's made on Scrumdale.
Well, they've forced and plugged away at this defence, and they used the ball wisely. They've made sure every pass, a good long pass. McAllister using all his strength, crashes over despite 2 tackles. A marvellous try.
Yes, he's a big, strong fellow, is Charlie McAllister. New Zealand All Black trialist. And he's got his 2nd try of the season now. And it's horrific weather now, as you can see. The rain slanting down on Trum Hall. And, well, they're huddled there behind the posts. Huddled over that stand as well. Dreadful kick for Platt to have to take. There's no question he's not made that one. So Oldham have gone into a 12-point lead, and they're seemingly on their way to their first away win of the season. Well, I don't think I've ever seen conditions quite like this on the programme. Wonderful kick there for Oldham. And for Halifax, defending in these conditions against an Oldham team with their tails up, they must be willing their way into the dressing room.
Yes, they played well. As I said, they've been long periods without the ball in the second half, but when they've had it, they've used it well. And Halifax showed again, they're trying to move the ball out from their own 25, drop the pass and another scrum down. And Oldham, with their confidence now at the pitch, are looking forward to it and taking them on.
They could get the ball out of the scrum here. A little kick through didn't quite work though, so Halifax do have a chance with Anderson to run it. Now Grogan and now George. Now then, let's see if there's any sting left in the Halifax side. Here's Peter Coyne. Oh, dearie me, that was You could see him stop, wait, think about the pass, still throw it to an Oldham man, and then surprisingly, with the Oldham fella, I think he was astonished, put it down.
Yes, no continuity at all. The confidence obviously going away from them, and an Oldham side now playing full of verve and spirit.
Around 10 minutes to go. The rain just abates a little. You've really got to be an ardent follower of the game to come out on an afternoon like this one. And here's a chance. Oh, if he holds on. That was a bit reminiscent of last week. Not quite the same effect that Mercer of Salford had. And he juggled it from over his back. But now Halifax. This is their opportunity. Good passing here. Oh, Grogan puts it down, and it really has not been his day or the team's day. Touch judge is on. And of course, for rugby league players, when their game isn't on song, it becomes a very frustrating day.
Very frustrating. I think there was no need. The tackler went in with his knees there and caught him. The linesman on the spot went in there and penalised him. Just look, they move it about now, Halifax. They're getting frustrated. They're trying to use it long. They have 4 or 5 men now on the outside here. The long pass yet again. Nobody seemingly straightening up at all, taking it out. The ball goes, and in sheer frustration, he drops it. They drop on the ball here, and the tackler comes in after and catches him. And the referee and the linesman see it and penalise him.
And back line, the gathering gloom at Brum Hall, and the gloom in more senses than one of the way the game is going for the home side. Oldham in possession. O'Sullivan makes the half break. He made a good 15 yards there, O'Sullivan. He's led the side quite well today.
He has. He's been most impressive. Some of his arcing runs has really split this Halifax defence.
And I would think on a good surface he's be a very tricky character.
Yes, I think he would.
And you can sense the confidence just beginning to ooze through the Oldham side a little as that ball is given back inside for Clawson. The last tackle, and so Taylor chips through. Sensibly done by Scott Wilson there, who has done quite well there. Trapped the ball and then made 10 yards. This is better. Now they've got to keep hold of the ball of Halifax here for it to count. And it was thrown behind Wilf George, hence the oohs and ahs from the crowd again. A good tackle by Ruane. Halifax have certainly made a lot of mistakes, and they've paid the penalty.
They certainly have. As I say, I've said it time and time again, they have no pattern about it. They're hesitant with the ball in their hands. The 3 and 4 man overlap at times and really don't know what to do with it. And that hesitancy is causing them to make all kinds of mistakes.
Grogan, Anderson, now George. Once more, the whistle of referee Steele. The scrum right down in front of us here. This was a match that Halifax badly needed to win, really, to improve their league position. So it doesn't look as though they're going to do. Ball round, once more running effectively, knocking people off, he's swatted them away. Gives the ball back inside for McAllister as well, and these two men have run better than anybody on this pitch.
They really have. He's been a revelation, Paul Round. He's come on, taking balls on the burst, pushed off the man, always looked for support, and the support has been there more often than not in the form of Charlie McAllister.
Chip through, Kevin Meadows is there, and it won't count. He was in front of the kicker, and he was offside. Penalty against him, I think he knew that really.
Yes, I think he did as well. He thought he was getting away with it. It was a good tactic. A chip over the top, of course, down in that far corner, but he was, as you could see, in front of the kick of the ball, and the referee rightly made the right decision.
We've got 2 balls on the pitch for the moment. 5 minutes to go. Halifax 12 points down. Really staring defeat in the face now. And a very uncomfortable afternoon for their supporters and their coach. And again it's lost, and again it's round. Oh, he's had an inspired match. Good running from Hawkyard. Got the ball away in the tackle too. And it was well taken on this pitch. And with this, well, I was just going to say slippery ball, and there you saw exactly just how bad it is to control. But these are the sort of afternoons that rugby players dread, don't they?
Oh, they are, and of course I think Halifax really haven't taken into account the conditions, and they've been crossed between 2 schools as to what game they should play, a result of which they've come up with nothing at all.
But they have got the ball out of this one. Whitfield, Pendlebury, and once more it's gone to ground, but the referee decides this time that the ball was... No, he's decided it was knocked on after all. Well, there's been very little for Halifax to cheer at all this afternoon. They haven't even had the consolation of a score.
No, and they haven't really looked like it. As I said, they put down too many passes.
Halifax have taken the scrums 13-5. And Seamus McCallion is one of the only 2 to go against the head. So they can't complain about the amount of possession they've had, it's just that they've squandered most of it.
That's right, yes. As I was saying early on, Oldham didn't have much of the ball, but they've used it more wisely, and a result of which they're in front.
Let's see if they can use it wisely this time. O'Sullivan inside his Platt. One man who will have enjoyed his debut. Linked up nicely there. They'll again be looking to the massive figures of Round, McAllister, Hawkyard here. They didn't play that ball correctly. Penalty goes against Taylor. He complains and costs his own team another 10 yards. Can Halifax at last find a way through? I think they've left it too late to get the points from the game. They need a couple of scores and only a couple of minutes to go. Staines and smack into Hawkyard. Coins chip over the top now. Whitfield had followed up here. If he gathers this one, there's a chance for Halifax as Whitfield has pace. That was more intelligent. There's a better kick from Coyne. And again, they've hoisted it. And good pick up for Oldham. It's Casey over there. Again, hard to distinguish the players. But Oldham won't worry about that. And we're looking forward to a hot bath in the dressing room now. And it'll be a happy journey back across the Pennines. It also means that Tony Barrow has made himself quite popular as the new coach.
Yes, I think they've done him proud this afternoon. They've stuck well to their guns. They haven't had as much possession as Halifax have had, but they've done everything right for the conditions.
And again, getting the ball away in the tackle. He did very well there, Taylor. Last tackle. And they've carried out Tony Barrow's tactics to perfection, really, as Whitfield struggles to take possession, now does so. Here's Fairbank. Huge lad, of course, Dick Fairbank, one of the 5 rugby-playing brothers from Elland. Brogan getting himself out of Henderson's challenge, but not that of Atkinson, the substitute. It's a very quiet Halifax crowd at the moment. They can't quite believe what's going on with this side that went to Wembley last year. They've got 6 more tackles. Oh dear, it slithered out of the grasp. And a hooter that Halifax will be very, very glad to hear. It's been a disappointing display from them. The first away win of the season for Oldham. They take it by 12 points to 0. A try in each half, 1 in the first minute by Paul Round, 1 near the end of the game from Charlie McAllister, and 2 goals in his debut from Duncan Pratt. Well, the man of the match, not surprisingly, is in the visitors' dressing room. He's there now with David Watkins.
Terrible. Absolutely. They played exceptionally well, actually, Rob, but they played it expansively. I think they didn't appreciate the conditions. They went on with no real plan. Yeah. So I'm going to say that